We back at it. Hillside Roundups. We talking football talk tonight. Hillside football. Got one of the guys that's been playing football for, since the age of 5. Uh, Parents very active in the community of Hillside. Matter of fact, between the Freemans and this family, like we would have no Hillside recreation, and of course with the help of Dave Klarman. But the young man that I speak of is an educator. He runs his football training camp. Uh, put some work in. Put some work in for Hillside football. He's from the class of 2002. Good brother, strong brother, very defensive minded. Um, he should be joining me real soon. I'm just giving him his props and showing him his love, and it's well deserved between him and his family. The way things was running in Hillside between Pop Warner and Hillside Biddy, his family definitely has a stamp on it. Um, Excuse me, I'm sorry. Back to it. Yeah, his family uh, as a staple in this game, in recreation, in sports. Um, he should be on any minute now, any minute. So we'll just wait for him to come on there. Most of you guys, your class 2002 guys, would be very surprised, and I like to keep it a surprise when it goes on. You know, yeah, we had a little time discrepancy, but don't even worry about it. But oh my God, we had so much fun talking this one up tonight. And those of you that don't know, basically what I'm doing is showing love to the community of Hillside. Someplace where I went to school, played, and did extracurricular activities at. You know, um, took a little took a little time off, try to get the scheduling right, and plus I know it's the holidays, and I know some of y'all be going out to. Here we go. Some of you guys be going out to go have some fun now that this things is open. So we about to get to it. A couple people coming on in. Just waiting for my man to sign in right about now. He should be here. Well, how y'all day was going today? He should be dropping in any minute now. Hold on, let me send it to him. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, class 2002, educator, defensive guru, Dorryn Simmons.
Yes, sir.
Dorryn Simmons, what's going on, brother?
What's the deal, man?
Hey, hanging in there, man. I see you taking in that quarantine beard too, huh?
Yeah, man. We're trying to
Yeah,
stay.
I was just telling the people that between your family and the Freemans, it's like you guys were just like a very instrumental part in a lot of people's lives, a lot of children's lives in the township of Hillside, man. You want to
Yeah,
talk about that a little bit, man?
yeah. Well, the Freemans definitely. It was an amazing family. One of the many amazing families that came through Hillside. Ultimately, it was just like between them and just my father and my brother and my sister. paving the way, as well as myself, and in the event, paving the way for, pretty much what I feel as though is something that we have right now. Is why Hillside is on the map. You know what I'm saying? Is just the legacy that was left behind by all the greats that you've been interviewing, that I've played with, that we've grown up with in Hillside. So that's just where it's at.
Yeah, man. Now tell me now, we're gonna do it a little bit different tonight because usually I talk basketball and I go in and everything. But this time we're switching it up. We're doing football. So now you started playing football at the age of 5, correct? Now who put the ball in your hand?
Well, you got to remember too, who I'm attached to.
Yeah.
So ultimately, you got my father, who, believe it or not, talking football, I could talk about another football, the universal, worldwide football, which is soccer.
Right.
That was the first ball that I've ever had. I played that at the age of 2. And then ultimately my father was responsible for, getting the ball on my feet. And then ultimately I wound up realizing that I could hit people and you didn't get in trouble. So
Yeah.
that's where football came in. And ultimately, like, my father put the first ball in my hand, and flag football, I'll never forget it. I was on the Saints. I was on the Saints. We had our little jerseys, our little mesh jerseys, and we played at the PAL. And yeah, man, I used to get flags all the time because I used to smack people's hands, and I knew from that point on I was destined to put a football in my hand. So yeah, man.
So you are actually a defensive guy. Like we've been talking behind the scenes and everything like that. So you're a defensive guy. You're a defensive coordinator right now to this day.
Yeah, actually, all playing aside, as far as my athletic career, both in Hillside and beyond, I currently now am the defensive coordinator of Parsippany High School, so out in Morris County, so up north. So yeah, man, I've done quite a bit, man, for the community where I've come from, starting with Hillside, and Hillside really laid the framework. The Freemans, my Jacob Simmons the third, my father, Dale Simmons, my brother, my oldest brother, Anika Simmons, my oldest sister. They laid the groundwork pretty much for me and for really all other athletes. I feel like, along with some of the Raheem Grahams and Kendall Ogles and Sandy Birds and those types of individuals, and I could continue on naming names like that you probably have interviewed or probably are trying to get a hold of,
But of course.
But yeah, so yeah, man, football is definitely a part of my life, and it's now a part of my life where I've picked up the clipboard, and I've recognized that my goal is to get kids into college, and then get kids on to the next level. And my thing with kids, with regard to football and me coaching it, is not just the X's and O's. It's about how for them to be young men, right? For them to understand and how to conduct themselves. And, some guys benefit from being on the football team because they have the opportunity to be a leader, right? That gives them that platform to do that. Some guys like to be on the football team because it gives them the opportunity to follow and learn how to kind of follow suit, and be a part of a unit and be a part of a machine towards one goal. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to instill in a lot of these young men that I come in contact with. And it's been pretty successful, man. The other thing is, I got my own sports performance company that is jumping off Fourth and Goal Sports. With that going on, it's crazy, man. Stuff is starting to pick up.
Yeah, I definitely see you out there, man. I've seen a couple of your videos and I'm on Facebook, Instagram. You putting that work in and work early. The boys, they're gonna appreciate. They're definitely gonna appreciate you once it's said and done. Because you yourself went to a combine, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, as far as my athletic career, being in Hillside, I actually played at Hillside, graduated. I was on the 9-2 team that went to the actual playoffs, and we fell short slightly to Pequannock. I'll never forget it. We lost on the hook and ladder play, man. It was terrible, man. I hate to relive it. And that same year, 2 losses. That was one. One was to Pequannock. We win that, we go to the States.
Right.
unfortunately. But in the other game that we lost was to make us 9-2 was Immaculata.
Yeah, it was always tough.
Immaculata, oh,
Their
they
football
always
team was
are.
always tough.
Yeah, man. So, once we kind of, I consider that to be successful. And once I left Hillside High School, I managed to get through my college career. I finished up at Kane University with my bachelor's degree. And for whatever reason, through my own trials and tribulations, I didn't go the traditional route of, like D1 college, D2 college, and the NFL combine. I actually played semi-professional football since 2015.
Mm.
And excuse me, since 2010. And ultimately, I had wound up just pressing and grinding and just working and just doing me. The opportunity presented itself for me to join an NFL combine. The Jets were there, the Raiders were there, the Giants was there, and it was in Jersey. And I went to try out. And, I had my picture. So, if you go back a couple of, 'cause I got a couple because I'm up there in age, but you go back a couple of drafts, I
Yeah.
definitely was in it. And I realized that was my opportunity that God put in my life for me to have that experience. And rightfully so, even if I didn't make it all the way, let's just say, I made it to a point where I had the experience. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to give to the kids that I deal with, is the experience. And honestly, if you think about it, if you've ever had any dealings with Jacob Simmons III or Dale Simmons or any type of coaching that my mother, Joyce Simmons,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Let's not even go there. Jacob Simmons, the groundwork, but Joyce Simmons was right next to him, like, a strong black woman getting it done at a high level, right next to a strong black man. You know what I mean? So, I had good ideas seeing that, but them two, they were relentless when it came down to, just getting it done and getting it done at a high level. So the NFL Combine was an experience, and even they gave me an experience to be able to pass on. So I remember those moments. And it clearly shows because you could pull up the DeJuan Weems and those types of guys and ask them about Jake Simmons, the Jameel Wineglasses, ask them about Jake Simmons, ask, the soccer players, ask them about Joyce Simmons. And you're going to be like, yo, and if I'm not mistaken, my mother and my father, Jacob Simmons and Joyce Simmons, are still in one of the pizzerias in Hillside on the wall. If I'm not, they still got that picture up.
Yeah,
They're
wow.
still
I think it was Eminem's. I think I want to say it's Eminem's on
Eminem.
Liberty Avenue.
Eminem.
But Dorryn, check it out, man. I was you and your family are successful, man. Like from you going to the combines to your sister to Dale winning. Him and Kurt was winning. I was there, but Anika balling, you balling in football with my brother Torian.
Yeah.
You guys. I'm talking about you guys. You guys were successful, and that sports just ran through the blood, man. And then, like you said, your moms too. I totally forgot about your mom, but she was always there, always right there next to him, man. Just like Mr. and Mrs. Freeman, like the Simmons were there. And I commend you guys and much love and I'm giving you your flowers this evening, man, because I didn't even know you went to the combine until we talked about it, we spoke, and I'm like, wow. And I'm like, but I knew you was being a football nut though. I knew you just you see I got my Tampa joint on, so I'm like, wow, Dorryn, he went. Then you tell me the story, I'm just like, yeah. So you want to talk about the combine a little bit or not?
Say again.
You want to talk about the combine a little bit or not?
I mean, so ultimately, when I went to the combine, they were poking and prodding at me. I had trained so much to get to that point, and I had worked so hard. At the time, I had an agent, so I actually again had that experience of knowing what it's like to have an agent who spoke for me, who got me gigs and who got me different types of things. So ultimately, when I arrived at the combine, my agent was like, "Oh, we got you something right here. This is a big shot. Like, let's go for it." And I was training and I was paying a lot of money and doing different things. And once I got there, I entered in the draft as a fullback. They took us through. They poked, they prodded at you, they squeezing your waist, and they, pinching you, and they put your hand on the board so you can see how big your hand span is. My hand was 11 inches from pinky to thumb. You know what I'm saying? So I was almost like J.J. Watt who could hold a ruler in his hand. You know what I'm saying? So they, and then when it came down to my vertical, I'm 5'9", bro. I'm average height of a man. And my vertical, I was almost jumping 3.5 feet. I was almost jumping 42 inches. I think I jumped 39 inch. I had a 39-inch vertical as at 5'9".
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So like that was impressive to them. I think I had took that as far as that class of guys that were there for that combine. I had the highest vertical out of the group. And ultimately, we did some one-on-ones, and I just got busy, man. But the NFL, they say it stands for not for long, and
Yeah.
it was one of those things that the experience was there, and yeah, man, it was an experience that I'll never forget. I was disappointed once I realized that I got to know. But I realize now in my older age that it was part of the process. You know what I'm saying? Things still came after that though. After the NFL Combine, I didn't run a great 40. I ran like a 4.9 40, 4.8 40. It wasn't that great. I did like 14 reps on the bench, 225. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I was 220, 230. You know what I'm saying? So I was pushing my weight, almost twice, double digits. So I was tough. But ultimately, I found myself, not getting the head nod for that. And I continued to work and grind, and I got myself a tryout with my agent. At least got me a tryout with the New York Dragons Arena League team. They were looking for a couple of guys, so I went out there, got that, made it through a couple of cuts. Still didn't make the cut to get the head nod there. And I realized at that point that I needed to create my own so that I could make sure that kids didn't go through what I went through. I had to go through that as hard as I did, So I created Fourth and Goal Sports, and it's thriving right now. I got a couple guys that have trained with me and that I've coached that are at Notre Dame, at Monmouth University. I got kids that I've coached out of high school that are at Old Dominion, LIU Post. Guys that I kind of, had the opportunity to share the sidelines with. So it definitely was what's up.
Good. Now, Dorryn, I'm gonna ask you something now. With the semi-pro, I remember the year that you played semi-pro. I'm trying to think, was that the same year that I think it was DeWine, Corey Robinson,
Yeah,
Fernando, your good friend Fernando. Now, were you guys all on the same team, or was that something totally different?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a team with Cornell Granberry too.
Yeah.
Now,
We were
what team was that?
Now, see, it was a couple of different factions of the way that we played. Like you had Cornell, and then we used to play with this league called Town Beef. It's actually now called A7FL.
Oh.
And we actually had our own team where it was Cornell, it was C's, Corey, it was myself, it was Fernando, and a bunch of guys from Hillside that got busy, and we played on that team, and we won multiple chips with that. But from a semi-pro level, you had the Warriors, they were based out of New Brunswick. We had the Bravehearts that came out of Piscataway. We had, shoot, me and Fernando go all the way back to the New Jersey Knights, bro, out of Irvington, man.
Yeah, I think that's what I thought. That's what I'm thinking of. Because I saw that Knights.
Yeah, man. So we went all the way back to the Knights. Honestly, man, we went all the way as far up, me, Fernando, and a couple of guys. We went as far up to play in upstate New York with the Orange County Bulldogs, man. Wow. Orange County, New York. Then they had moved down to what was it, Sloatsburg, and they were called the Tri-State Bulldogs. But we used to have an indoor-outdoor bubble, indoor-outdoor facility, and we had like an actual stadium, you know what I mean? And we had trainers. It was amazing. We've traveled all the way down to Virginia playing guys. I'm telling you, bro, it was crazy.
Wow, yeah, man. I think I had to throw that in because I remember seeing you guys. This was post before social media really picked off. This was back, I want to say early Facebook, late MySpace, and I just saw all the pictures of you guys playing. I'm like, how does he know him? I'm like, oh, they live up the hill and they got the love for football. At one point, they all had to play at the Hillside together at school, so I messed it all up.
Yeah, man. Football is my life, man. One of the things that I like to tell my guys that I play with is yo, man, when you're married to this game.
The Dewan's down there. He's co-signing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Word
Yeah,
up, on everything, man. Like I tell my kids, man, when you're married to this game of football, man, it's for better or for worse, man.
yeah,
You don't throw your hands up when football don't treat you right. You gotta work on it. You gotta work on your craft, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the kids, they can relate to that, man. You know, it's like, somebody get married, you get mad at your spouse. You're not throwing your hands up and filing divorce at the first disagreement, right? Or the
yeah,
first bad moment, but that's life too. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And man, I'm not even gonna stunt. I'm not gonna go here too tough, but I've been through some stuff, man, and been through, some pretty dark moments in my life, and I'm in a really good spot right now.
yeah,
And if it wasn't for football, man, I'm not really certain about where I would be. If it wasn't for some of the most supportive people out there, my wife, my mom, like all of that type of stuff, man. If it wasn't for these people, was my brother, my sister,
yes,
like my father, my mother, like if it wasn't for these people, like putting up with my nonsense, allowing me to grow, allowing me to do my thing. And then it's like, look at me now, man. Like there's no kid that comes in my grasp, in my path, that can hear the sound of my voice, that does not understand like where they're headed in life, man. And I just want to make sure that these kids these days, with all the distractions they have, can get to the level of experience that they want to go through, you know what I'm saying, as positively and as seamlessly as possible, through my sacrifice, through your sacrifice, through your mistakes, through my mistakes. Mistakes are the best teachers, man. So,
yeah, they are.
I just get real passionate about that.
Yeah, no, I feel you 100%. Just like a defensive man, you like,
Yeah.
you like
Yep.
you take this very very seriously, as we all should. And
Absolutely.
I just wanted to peek in there, well, touch on this a little bit, I should say. Piscataway,
Yeah.
what's going on out there? Like, do you have a team, or what's that was going on? Because I saw something a while back that you was doing in Piscataway. Was it coaching, or
So,
you had someone playing, or?
well, again, this is what I'm saying. I'm doing so much stuff behind the scenes, man, and you're digging it all out, man. Starting from the inception of Hillside all the way to the present, and we might need another show
Yeah,
for us to kind of get into everything, because my career is still going, but it's illustrious. But with regard to me coaching in Piscataway, I had done a couple of things in Piscataway. I started coaching in Piscataway in 2014. Prior to that, my son was playing Pop Warner football in Piscataway anyway. So I was coaching anyway, even though I wasn't on the sideline. But I had started coaching Pop Warner as well as coaching freshman football in Piscataway in 2014. Through work circumstances, I had got, I couldn't really do it for that much longer. And I wound up coming back in 2018. And when I came back in 2018, we won the state championship. Like these kids, not only did we win a state championship, we went undefeated
wow,
as state champions in Piscataway. This group that we had was hands down talented and special on a whole nother level, man. And again, a lot of the guys that just sacrificed what they did and sacrificed their body, these kids, man. And again, like these are the kids that are at the D1 schools, particularly like a Jawan Jackson, who's at Monmouth University now. I got a couple of guys, that I've coached in Piscataway, that are moving on and doing pretty good things, and that I'm still training to this day, hoping that, we could get them to the next level, So the other thing that I was doing in Piscataway was there was a particular league that was being ran, and I had caught wind of it. It was a two-hand touch 9 versus 9 league. So you had 3 down linemen. You had and everything else was the same. You have receivers, as many as you wanted receivers, 5 receivers or less. The only difference was just that you had 3 down linemen, offensive linemen, and you had a choice to either go 2 down linemen for defensive line, or you could go 3, and you could blitz linebackers. Like everything was the same, and it was a safe way for the kids that were, getting ready for the upcoming season to get it, get the finer details of football down. And I had created my own team. It was called the Fourth and Goal Legends, hence my name,
yes,
of my company that I'm the CEO of. And we went out there and we did work, man. And these kids now, they are going to be sophomores in high school, and they're doing pretty well. This is the next group that came in as last year as incoming freshmen. Those guys are probably going to be the next championship team, both in basketball in Piscataway and in football. And my son is actually on that basketball team. My son is the only kid that played varsity basketball as a freshman. He was a couple other kids, but he wound up being the only one that was consistently there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Piscataway is turning them out, man. And I'm hoping and helping to do that.
Oh, what now? Yo, oh, that's awesome, man. Cause you said basketball and football. That
Yeah.
reminds you of back home. And
Yes, sir.
Hillside used to be like that. Now, what do you think
Yeah.
about Hillside now?
Listen,
With
man,
the football team?
I am so, as a whole, I'm happy. Like I drive through Hillside, and I like not for nothing, yo. I've given my son tours of Hillside. I've given some of my proteges, the kids that I'm working with, a tour of Hillside, and like gave them the life of buildings that were there, things that
Yeah.
weren't there. I sit in front of the high school sometimes, and I'm just like, man, this is where it all started. You know what I'm saying? And just to have that opportunity and just to have such a supportive community around me and just kind of be standing here today for us to be sitting here reminiscing on it. Like, I feel like Hillside has, everybody has their moments as a community, but I think Hillside did a decent job with our generation, whereas though they set us up, man. And the way that Hillside is now is from Pop Warner. I remember I went to a championship game of Linden against somebody else last year. It's pouring rain in the at Pop Warner championship game. And guess who came on next? The midgets.
Yeah.
Hillside. And I'm like, okay. And then that was coming off, I believe, the second straight back-to-back season that they had as the high school of being state champs. And then they went and did a three-peat. And I'm like, yo, Hillside is bugging. Yo, so, I mean, my secret thing to do, really, for real,
Yeah.
is to try to come back to Hillside and get with Grant, man, and see what's up with him. So anybody that know him and know how I get down and know what I bring to the table, yo, tell Grant to holler at me, man.
Well, listen. Well, you have opportunity here. It's all, like you said. All you have to do is speak it because somebody watching. They're
Yeah,
going to see it. So I mean,
yeah,
hey, all you got to do is go to your what is that, 4th and goal?
yeah.
See the
Yo,
workouts.
yeah, fourth and goal legends, man. The number 4, THANDGOAL legends, LEGENDS. Yeah, man. That's Facebook. That's Instagram. You name it. If you want to get some work in, you want to get footwork. See, and the good thing about my what I do, you do footwork, speed, agility, and then you get a piece of like mentorship and like I'm speaking to your spirit, bro. I'm speaking to your athletic spirit. I'm speaking to your ancestors, bro. That's giving you all the power from the Mother Earth to allow you to go out here and do the things you need to do at a high level. So not only am I training you, but you getting the soul music that you need to hear and
Yeah.
feel in the body, man. And there are no trainers. I can say that undoubtedly. And if you want, come check me out. I'm at Quibbletown Park. That's one of my main locations. Got another spot in Roselle, Our Technique. That's another spot. It's physical therapy and sports performance indoor location that I also utilize as well. Shout out to my man Marcus. But yeah, man, like, yo, there's a lot of things I got going on. So if y'all want to get this work, yo, let me know. And I'll come to you. You could come to me. It don't matter. 4th and goal legends, man.
Wow, Dorryn, yo, man. Yeah, you're right. We got to get a part 2 on this one, man. But we definitely got the bulk and base information from you. And unfortunately, I got something I got to take care of. That's why we
It's
we
all
gonna do it
good.
like this. But
Hey, man.
this was great, man. And I appreciate you taking out the time, chopping it up with me. We definitely gonna
Word.
get a part 2 and the rest of your brothers and sisters.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm working on them. I got you, man. I got you. Bro. If it was up to me, we'd all be on here. It would,
Yeah,
yo,
that would
that would be
I
wild as
wanted
I'll
that.
go.
I wanted that, but then I was like, you know what? Let me get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday,
Yeah,
Thursday, Friday. But
yeah,
things happen. So
yeah, yeah. But I'm working for you, man, because I think that hearing from them, they're going to offer up a different perspective. And once
yeah,
people be able to see to put the puzzle together, it's a wrap, man. But yeah, I could talk about this for days, man. I love Hillside. I love what they're doing now. I love that the kids are going on and doing big things and getting into college. I saw Nari. He definitely got committed to college. I forget what college he's going to, but they're doing big things out there. So shout out to Grant. Yo, Grant, hit me up, man. If you need a defensive minded guy, yo, holla at the kid, man. I'll help you get a 4th, 5th, 6th until you're ready to retire, big brother. Carry this legacy, man. Let's
yeah,
do it.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, yo, man, Ike, man, I really appreciate you, bro. Yo, yo, this was so amazing, so fun. And I'm definitely gonna get the word out. We're gonna tune in, get people locked into this because this is a really beautiful thing, man. And I hope that we can expand this, man.
Oh, definitely. That's definitely in the works, man. It's definitely in the works, and I appreciate you being on. I appreciate you, showing us me love, because I'm giving it right back to you tonight, man. And you got to
Yeah.
look at it too. Like I said, you was the winner, class of 2002. Your
Yeah.
sister 98, and then
Yep.
you got Dale 92, 93.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's
Yeah. Legacy. Yeah.
straight
Almost
legacy.
15 years.
Yeah, and the
Almost 15
cats.
years. Yeah. Almost 15 years in total from Dale all the way through, bro. Like
Yeah,
that was a run. That was a run, and each had their milestones, man. You know, with them two
yes,
winning their championships, and Nika running with that squad,
yes,
and Dale running with his basketball squad, and Kendall and all those guys, man.
yeah.
Then myself running with Anthony DeGaines
Right.
and Adebayo and like all of it, man. Like and coming off of the heels of the Dewan Weems, other thing, telling you, bro, it's love, man. So listen, man, I know you gotta get going. Thank you so much, man. This was a first, and definitely will not be a last. I'm a true supporter of yours, supporting black-owned, black men doing big things, not out here doing nonsense. So
Mm.
we need to make sure we continue to push that narrative and do our part, raise our children to be kings and queens and value themselves and show them where we all come from, man. And Hillside definitely was it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yo, D, thank you, man. Peace and good night.
Yeah, man. Take care, man. See y'all later, man. Take care, folks.
All right.